Hello, everyone. So, in this video, we are going to talk about the allegory of the cave, which is in book 7 that we will see. So, what is an allegory? First of all, I'll tell you. It's in literature, students, we already know that allegory, it is a kind of story. It conveys a moral lesson or a deeper meaning, and it tries to give knowledge of life in a more deeper way through the form of a story. It's a dialogue, and in this work, you'll see that it's a dialogue between character, which is mainly Socratic style, and through this, Plato will explain us the reality. So, the basic setup you can see in the picture, the basic setup of there is of a cave. In this, there are two sides. One side, you'll see that there are some figures like ghost like figures that you will see over here. I hope you can see it nicely. Ghost like figures that we can see over here. And on the other side, we will see that there are some people who are sitting, who are chained, unable to move. So, one side you can see that there are, ghost like figures, people who are standing over there. These people are holding some objects over here. You can see a horse, a ring, um, a bird. Okay, so these are ghost like figures which are holding some objects or miniatures in their hand. On the other side, you will see that there are some people who are sitting chained in the bondage, unable to move. So you can also see that what is being shown to them, they are forced to look onto the walls in front of them. So they are forced to see these images in front of them. And then we will see that these people, they are chained since their childhood. They are bound from their birth itself. They're not allowed to look into any other direction. They have to see what is actually shown to them. So with this, we will understand the meaning in real life. Okay, it tells us that in our society also, we are made to believe certain things since our childhood. We are conditioned, we are restricted in that way. So, what do you see? The prisoners that are here, they are seeing. They are seeing on the wall that there are some shadows, there are some figures or images. Okay, so these shadows, they come from the burn fire that is burning behind them. So these people who are standing behind, they are carrying some miniatures and object with them, and the fire, it casts a shadow on these objects, and then it is shown on the wall. So with this, we can see that the chained people, they can only see the shadows that is behind the fire. They can see the same images every single day, and they believe that those images are the only reality because they have been seeing the same thing since their childhood. So human, they accept the limited and the repeated ideas as truth. They never question or explore beyond what they actually see. Okay, for example, you can see the analogy of a horse over here, who's when we see a horse who are made to wear those something on their head. So they are covered on the sides, and it only looks straight, it cannot look left or right. Similarly, humans are also trained in such a way, and they see only what they are told, not no question beyond that. Okay, they will only be seeing what is shown to them. Same happens with our media also, with our society also. In today's world, what we see is that media, it shows us only one side of the reality. For example, someone comes on the internet and provokes you, and says something, and you get influenced. Someone fills your mind with negative thoughts, and you accept it immediately. So meaning, it means that those people who are standing behind, they are showing the shadows. They already know what they are actually showing. They are actually trying to control what others are seeing. Okay, so whatever is shown to you, we feel that it is the truth because we are the chained people. We feel that this is the actual reality, and this represents our even modern media, the news, the government, what they want to influence us with. So this is what it is actually shown in the allegory of the cave. So the chained people, they are the humans like you and me. And the chains are actually the restrictions, the conditioning, the social limitations that we have to go through or that we are bound to. And the shadow images that you are seeing, they are the false reality, they are the illusions. And the people who are behind it or who are showing these shadows, they are the influencers of the society. So who are these influencers? They are the, they represent society, maybe religion, parents, also family, cultural system. And what are they showing? It is like they show us only the, some or one side of the version of the reality. They keep repeating that same ideas, and then we understand, okay, maybe this is the truth. That is why it is being repeated every time in front of us. So from childhood, people are actually chained by the beliefs, like, you are a girl, you should be behaving in this way. You are a boy, you should follow these rules. And you should be the role model of your family. You should be marrying at this age. You should be having children at this age. You should be following your society's rules very strictly. And what happens in result? The person's logical thinkings, it is suppressed. They stop, questioning the reality. So humans are shown only one fixed version of the truth, and we have to accept it as a reality. Never step outside to the real world. We never step. We don't think, too much. Okay, whether it is real what they are saying, if it is wrong what they are saying. We just feel that okay, whatever they are saying is the reality because it is so many times repeated in front of us. But what happens over here, as you can see in the picture, over here you can see a person who is standing on the surface. So some people on the other hand, they break their chain. They come out of the cave. Okay. And when they go outside, they see the sunlight and they realize that what they saw earlier was not actually real. It was just an illusion. These people, they go outside of the world and they realize that everything that they have seen in this cave was actually false. It was an illusion. They understand that they were being misled for so many years. So students, do not just blindly believe everything that is shown in the media. Don't get emotionally disturbed by it. Instead, use your logic, use your reasoning, and then decide whether it is right or wrong. So the escaped person, according to Plato, is the philosopher. Who is a philosopher? A philosopher is someone who finds logic and reasoning. Okay, he does not blindly gets driven by his emotions. He seeks truth that is beyond the appearance. So Plato over here, he says that the chained people over here are the common people, and the freed person that you can see on the surface is the philosopher. So if one person stands up and turns towards the fire and sees the reality, then his eyes, it gets blinded initially. We feel that when we are trying to get over or try to speak for what we are seeing, and we try to we don't follow that. First of all, we will be feeling that whether we are doing it right, whether we are doing it wrong. And if we still if we in our heart we still feel that what we are doing is correct, and we follow our heart and do it, first of all we feel blinded, just the way a person who will stand up and see the fire directly will feel blinded the same way. But later on we'll feel that what we are shown is not the reality. Maybe there was some other side of the thing that we have not seen yet. Okay, so we will look at this one by one. Allegory of the cave. I have put a beautiful picture in front of you, and you can see this. Okay. Okay, so this is for you to read. Plato's allegory of the cave, it serves as a timeless metaphor for the journey from ignorance to the knowledge and truth. Okay, it parallels the experience of leaving the cave in a profound way. Just as the freed, prisoner, he emerges into the light, grabbing his shock of the border reality. Those who step beyond the socially conditioned norms often confront unsettling truths and challenges in their lives. But the freed prisoner and those undergoing a crisis of belief, they face resistance under returning to share their discoveries. Even if I've seen the reality and if I come back and tell it to you, people who have not actually realized that thing, that sublimity or that reality, they might reject because they don't believe. They will only believe what they are seeing and what is shown to them since so many years. And even if a philosopher or a person who has been chained for so many years and escapes and then find the reality, real thing, and they come back and they will tell it in front of you, you might, question him whether he's saying it right, because you will still doubt him. So, as in many of Plato's dialogue, the central speaker is Socrates, his mentor. In this allegory, also, Socrates explains to Plato's brother Glaucon that human beings are like prisoners who are confined in a cave, bound in such a way that they can only see shadows that is cast on the wall. These prisoners are unaware that the shadows are merely reflection of a far greater reality. So, when one prisoner it leaves the cave away, and he becomes enlightened and he returns, he expects curiosity and admiration. Instead, he is rejected and he is still imprisoned. When you will come back and you will tell the reality of the people who have never seen the reality, they will feel that, what you're saying, you have gone mad, I guess. You would be feeling, they would be feeling that, it's better you stop it. They will not believe you, in short. According to the allegory, all of us resemble captives that is chained deep within the cave, unaware that there is more to reality than the shadow that we perceive. So the story it describes prisoners who are facing a wall, watching shadows of objects projected by the fire behind them. The shadow, they form their own understanding of the reality. They know nothing of the world beyond the cave. However, when one prisoner escapes or it is freed, then they know that they encounter the sunlight for the first time and is initially overwhelmed and disoriented. Gradually, he as his eyes adjust, he realizes that what he once believed to be the reality was just the mere illusion. Compelled by with his new understanding, he returns to the cave to share his insight. Yet the other prisoners cannot comprehend or accept the truth what he is sharing. They react with him and reject his ideas as well as him. So I have explained it into a more easy way for you. First of all, I have explained here what is an allegory. As I told you, it is in book 7 of the Republic. And allegory means a story with a more deeper meaning. Okay, it is a form of a dialogue that is mainly led by Socrates to explain the nature of reality, knowledge, and ignorance. In this allegory of the cave, Plato asks us to imagine a dark cave. Inside the cave, there are people who are being chained since childhood. These prisoners are bound in such a way that they cannot move their bodies or turn their head. They are forced to look only at the wall in front of them and are unable to see anything else. So, behind these prisoners, there is a fire which is burning, and between the fire and the prisoners, there are people who are carrying objects or figures. The light from the fire it casts shadow on these objects onto the wall in front of the prisoners. Since the prisoners have seen only the shadows throughout their life, they begin to believe that these shadows are the actual reality. They'd have no idea that these are just illusions and are not the real objects. So I have put it down for you that the chained prisoners, they are the common human beings. The chains are the social conditioning, the restrictions. The shadow is the illusion or the false reality. The fire is the limited source of knowledge. And the people behind are the influencers or the society or the media, the authority, the cultures who are trying to fool us. Now, allegory of the cave, social and modern interpretation. So, people are often shown only one version of the reality, be it through media, be it through society, whether through news, social media, cultural norms, and individuals, they get influenced very easily. They may accept the negative or biased ideas and they stop thinking independently. So, like the prisoners, people, they remain mentally and conditioned and they are restricted. And the people who have escaped, or the person who has escaped, so Plato then imagines that one prisoner he breaks up from the chains, and at first when he turns around this and sees the fire, his eyes are blinded because he has always been in the darkness. And gradually he becomes used to the light and realizes that the shadow that he was seeing throughout his life was not actually real. When he finally goes outside the cave, he sees the real world that is illuminated by the sunlight. At this moment, he understands that everything that he has been believing since then, earlier, was actually false and only illusion. So, according to Plato, the philosopher is the freed person. Okay, the philosopher is someone who uses logic and reasoning. He does not blindly follow emotions or social beliefs. He seeks truth beyond appearance. The return of the cave. This is also an important idea. So, after discovering the truth, the philosopher, there is an important question that arises. So, will the freed person, whoever is the philosopher, will he return to the cave again? Will he do that? Or he will enjoy his freedom? He will enjoy his enlightenment. Plato suggests that the true philosopher does return to help the people. Okay. However, when he tries to explain the truth, the prisoner may reject him, mock at him, even consider him wrong or very dangerous. But it shows how difficult it is to change somebody's beliefs that have been into their mind, or they have been ingrained into their mind since childhood. Only they are deeply conditioned, and to change it all of a sudden is a very difficult task. You will be rejected, you will be mocked, you would be said to be dangerous. Okay. So, the role of the philosopher or a teacher on this part, a true philosopher is somebody who frees the people from the mental chains, who encourages the independent thinking, who help others to see reality and truth, and does not impose blind beliefs or restrictions. So, thus, a philosopher or a guru or a teacher is somebody who will lead people from ignorance to pure knowledge. This allegory of the cave, the final meaning, I have written down it for you. The chained people are the common people who are living in ignorance. The freed people are the philosophers who know the truth. Okay, so the Plato, he emphasizes that the role of a philosopher is the highest because he helps others escape the ignorance, understand the reality, and develop logical thinking. Okay, so the central message of this allegory of the cave is that do not just remain trapped in illusion and social conditioning. Do not believe blindly everything that you see or you hear. Instead, become someone who questions, who thinks logically, who seeks the truth through reasoning. A philosopher, he uses the light of knowledge to help others come out of the darkness and illusions and move towards understanding, okay, and truth. So, this allegory of the cave, the shadow, it represents the false knowledge or the illusion. The prisoners, they mistake appearance of for the reality. Okay, the appearance or the shadow that is shown to them, they feel that it is the reality. It shows how human they often live in ignorance, accepting what they see without even questioning. So the escape of the prisoner, one prisoner who is freed and he is taken outside the grave, at first he feels the pain, he feels confusion, he feels disorientation, but gradually he finds that his eyes, they adjust to the light of the sun. He realizes that the shadow was not actually real. The outside world is the true reality. So, the sun here represents the truth and the knowledge. Enlightenment over here is shown as a difficult process. It is very slow and very difficult. And the return of the cave, the enlightened person, it represents the cave to share the truth. Okay, he returns to the cave to share the truth. However, other prisoners do not believe him, reject his ideas, may even react with hostility. But the people, it shows that people, they resist to changes and to new ideas, and human, they prefer something which is more comfortable, illusion over truth. So in this, I have noted down again for you. You can just read it. I have made it, in small pointers so that you don't have a little bit of even confusion that is left in your mind. So everything I have, written down for you so that you just can read it and then it will be more clear to you. So thus the allegory of the cave, it remains a powerful metaphor for human perceptions, knowledge and enlightenment. Okay. Now, we are going to talk about the five regimes, understanding the classical forms of government as presented by Plato: aristocracy, timocracy, oligarchy, democracy, and tyranny. Okay, so in this work, the Republic itself, Book 8, Plato discusses the five types of government. This is also a very interesting and very important concept. So this concept, it comes from Book 8 of the Republic, and here Plato, he categorizes government into five times or five regimes. And if you want, you can understand this through the society and the politics, that there are five types of regimes, that is aristocracy, then there is Timocracy, oligarchy, democracy, and tyranny. So in this, you will see that he goes on to describe the mixed form, which is called as Callipolis, which is the beautiful city or the ideal city. Okay, and aristocracy, we will then late first best is the aristocracy, and then it gets on decreasing or declines. So aristocracy, this is the best form. This is the best. It is the philosopher's king. The leaders are wise. They are logical. They are knowledgeable. There is no corruption. Justice is present over there. Society is balanced and is moral. And this is the same way as Plato's ideal society. It is the utopian society according to Plato. And aristocracy, it is said to be the rule of the best. This is the first type of government that is given by Plato. And according to Plato, this is the best form of government. Aristocracy means that the rule, it is the rule by the best people. So who are the rulers? The ruler is, somebody who is most capable individual, someone who has wisdom, knowledge, logical thinking, has a very strong moral values. This ruler is not just attached to personal biases or gains. He works only for the welfare of the country. He does not take bribes, become corrupt. He does not show any biasness or partiality. And it is best because a wise and a moral person ruling the country will ensure justice. They will maintain balance and they will lead the country towards maximum progress. Okay, imagine a society where the most intelligent and the morally upright person is in charge. So that person will take care about your money. They will not engage in corruption. They will be somebody who is a very ideal government. Okay. Next is Timocracy. Timocracy, it comes from the decline of the aristocracy. It is somebody ruled by the people who love honor, who love power and status. Okay, they are less focused on the wisdom. They are more focused on military pride, reputation. Society starts, moving away from the knowledge and towards more ambitious. Somebody who, honor duty. So Plato puts it as rule by honor. Okay, for example, military Sparta can be the example. Somebody who's very patriotic, who is very having a very military kind of mindset. So they will not have any emotion towards their country members. They will always find or seek for reason. Okay, and it is not a perfect system according to Plato. Next up we have oligarchy. Okay, oligarchy. Oligarchy is the rule of the rich and the powerful people. Oligarchy rule by wealth and market based ethics. Okay, or a Plato puts it as rule by wealth and land ownership, like a free trading capitalist state. So oligarchy means rule by the rich people, wealthy people. Society, it becomes more divided into rich and poor, and the problem of inequality will increase here. Poor will, they will suffer a lot. Money, it becomes more important than justice or morality. So oligarchy means rule by the rich people, the third type of government which Plato is talking about. Oligarchy means rule by the wealthy people, the rich people, and the rule by the rich and the elite class people. In this, many countries, rich people, they have very strong connections with the government. And then they start influencing the decisions according to their own profits. So government, they becomes more corrupt. They will focus their shift on more on money making, increasing the wealth. Okay, so this will affect the society because the common people are the ones who will suffer. They are ignored. There is a gap that will increase between the rich and the poor people. And when money, it controls, it controls the power, justice and welfare, it disappears. Okay, next up we have democracy. It comes from the dissatisfaction, dissatisfaction of oligarchy. It is, it will have it a rule, who everyone, they will get freedom, they will get democracy. So everybody will feel that they are powerful. Okay, there will be, equality. But Plato, actually criticizes this democracy. Even we as a person feel that if everybody has the, rights, they will, right to vote, make laws, then it will be the ideal thing. But according to Plato, this is wrong. Why? Because too much freedom, it leads to disorder. There is, no discipline. Everybody will feel that they are the king, they are the rulers. People, they will choose unqualified leaders. So freedom, it becomes, without any control, and it will become more dangerous. So democracy means rule of the people. This is the fourth type of government that we are talking about, and it means that the government of the people, by the people, for the people. People are going to choose their representative or elect their leaders, and it might seem as good that because it gives us freedom, equality, participation. But according to Plato, sometimes the people choose the wrong leaders, because decisions can be made on the basis of emotions, on the basis of influences, popularity, bribing. Okay, so he says that, sometimes it looks good, but it might not always be good. Okay, that was your democracy. The fifth one that we are going to talk about is tyranny. This is the worst form of government, because it is ruled by a single dictator or a tyrant, somebody who is having the whole power. The power is absolute, it is misused. And what happens, that the ruler, he becomes more cruel, and he tries to control the people. He uses fear for controlling the people. So tyranny often, it develops from extreme kind of democracy. So Plato says that this is the worst form of government. It is the final and the worst form of government that he talks about. And it is somebody which is ruled by the dictator or a tyranny. Somebody who is, power hungry, who wants absolute control. And they start manipulating people's mind. They start, controlling their emotions. They present themselves as, saviors, something like god-like figure. Okay, so these are, examples of tyranny. Somebody, a dictator, who would be brainwashing you, or brainwashing the normal people. They turn them into their own followers. They, make them act violently. These are tyrants. These rulers, they, they suppress the oppositions, they create enemies, they target the communities, they, make the citizens suffer, they make them lose their freedom. So this is the main problem of a tyrant kind of government. They will only care about their own personal benefits, their own luxury, their own power, their own pleasure, but will not look at the welfare of the citizen. So even if, people have chosen their leaders, still these rulers, they forget that, the citizens, or the happiness of the citizens, is their responsibility. Okay, so Plato shows, a cycle of decline, if we can say it as a gradual decline of the system. First, the best one is the aristocracy, then is Timocracy, then is oligarchy, then is democracy, and the last one is tyranny. So every system, it slowly shows us the degenerate, how it is degenerating in a worse form. So as a system moves forward, they become more corrupt, they become more self-centered, they become more unjust. So Plato is trying to show that, society, they keep on moving away from the ideal towards more of corruption. The more emotion, power, money, it is dominated, the worse the system becomes. So always remember, five regimes in order: aristocracy is the best, and tyranny is the worst form. Is that okay? Now we are going to talk about his views on poetry.